The ISS has less than 5 years before it crashes into Earth's atmosphere. Russia's segment is failing fast. Air leaks have tripled since 2018, cracks are spreading, and they just destroyed their only launch pad to the station. So who's ready to take over? Vast Space completed Haven-1, the world's most advanced commercial station module, built without any NASA funding. SpaceX is launching it next year. Can a private partnership really replace the ISS before time runs out? Let's dive right in. While NASA funded multiple ISS replacement projects, Axiom, Orbital Reef, Starlab, each receiving hundreds of millions in government contracts, Vast Space took a different path. They built Haven-1 entirely with private money. No NASA funding, no government contracts. Why take that risk? The answer is speed. By July 2025, Vast completed Haven-1's primary structure. By October, final welding was done. By month's end, the entire module sat in the Mojave Desert for structural testing. While competitors navigate government reviews, Vast is testing flight hardware. They've completed 18 out of 22 major milestones, with launch scheduled for May 2026. But talk is cheap in aerospace. Vast needed proof their technology actually works. So they built Haven Demo, a 515-kilogram test satellite packed with the same propulsion system, guidance software, and communication systems that will fly on Haven-1. On November 2, 2025, it launched aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9. The results? Complete success. Solar arrays deployed. Power came online. 4K cameras recorded everything. Ground stations confirmed all systems healthy. The vast control room erupted, the same way SpaceX did when Falcon Heavy first flew. From concept to orbit, Haven Demo took just 2 years. Most station modules take 5 to 10 years. How is Vast moving this fast? They're applying the SpaceX playbook. Build, test, learn, rebuild. Their 900-person team works in-house at Long Beach, all focused on one goal. And their launch provider? Falcon 9, with 99.4% success across nearly 600 flights. One booster just hit 30 flights. The same rocket, reused 30 times. Haven Demo will stay in orbit 6 months, running tests before Haven-1 launches next May. Once in space, Haven-1 hosts up to 4 crewed missions over 3 years. Each brings 4 astronauts for 10 to 14 days aboard the first commercial habitat built entirely by a private company. First crew flight, Vast-1, targets late June 2026 aboard Crew Dragon. Inside, astronauts get 45 cubic meters of space, roughly a city bus. 4 sleeping quarters, common area with large observation windows. Microgravity research lab, storage corridors. Vast CEO Max Hayat made it clear. The focus isn't luxury, it's productivity. A place where astronauts rest better, communicate better, work better. None of this happens without SpaceX. They provide everything: launches, transportation, training, infrastructure. Falcon 9 handles launch. Crew Dragon carries astronauts. Starlink manages communications. But there's one problem. Once Haven-1 reaches orbit, it needs a spacecraft docked at all times. Dragon serves as transport, lifeboat, and helps maintain altitude because physics gradually pulls the station back toward Earth. SpaceX operates 5 active Dragons: Endeavor, Resilience, Endurance, Freedom, and Grace. Using one exclusively for Haven, one impacts other ISS missions. So over the next few years, the ISS will scale back operations to support newer stations. And Haven-1 is just the beginning. Haven-2 is the real ISS successor. Launch starts in 2028, expanding module by module until completion after 2030. Once finished, 8 separate modules connected together. Not a bus anymore, a small city in space. One number captures the scale, 12.5 meters. That's the panoramic observation window width, one of the largest ever built for space. But Vast isn't racing alone. On November 20th, Janus Henderson Group, managing over $484 billion in assets, announced funding for Starlab Space. They claim Starlab has the best design, lowest costs, and most attractive business model among all ISS replacements. This is one of the world's top financial institutions, making its first major bet on commercial space stations. Starlab is moving fast. 55% of research capacity already reserved, mainly for biopharmaceuticals and cancer drugs. With one Starship launch planned for 2028, Starlab arrives as a giant inflatable station backed by Airbus, Northrop Grumman, Mitsubishi, Palantir, and London Finance. Two different strategies. VAST goes fast, lean, self-funded, trying to reach orbit first. Starlab moves slower, but backed by industry giants and Wall Street money, both racing hard in different directions. For the first time, Wall Street is officially betting on commercial space stations. But while new stations are being built, there's an urgent crisis 250 miles up. The Russian ISS segment is collapsing faster than expected. Zvezda, the heart of the Russian segment providing oxygen, power, and propulsion, started developing cracks in 2018. Air leakage climbed from 200 to 300 grams daily to 400 to 600 grams by 2025. Roscosmos and NASA tried fixes, epoxy, titanium patches, special clamps during spacewalks. New cracks keep appearing. Zarya, the first ISS module launched in 1998, was found with surface fractures in 2021. They haven't spread yet, but the risk exists. The only solution? Constant monitoring. No permanent fix. By 2021, assessments warned 80% of Russian systems had outlived their 10 to 15-year design life. Vladimir Solovyov, Energia's chief engineer, said it clearly. Once systems are fully exhausted, unrepairable failures may begin. Then came the knockout blow. During the Soyuz MS-28 launch, Russia accidentally destroyed their only launch pad for ISS missions. At Baikonur Cosmodrome, the service cabin wasn't secured properly. When Soyuz engines ignited, high-velocity exhaust created low pressure, pulling the cabin out. Its heat shield caught airflow like a sail, ripping the structure off rails before it shattered in the flame trench. Russia temporarily lost its only launch site for crew or cargo to the ISS. Roscosmos claims repairs take weeks. Experts say 6 months. Immediate consequence? The December Progress resupply mission is delayed. No new experiments, no fresh food. If Russian modules develop problems during this period, the crew only has what's already aboard. This is where SpaceX enters in a way nobody saw coming. Since Crew Dragon became operational in November 2020, it hasn't just replaced seats. It's taken over critical functions only Russia used to handle. Since 2023, Cargo Dragon with upgraded Draco engines performed reboosts lifting the ISS without Zvezda. By December 2025, Dragon completed 7 independent reboosts, each raising orbit 1 to 2 kilometers. The U.S. can now maintain the ISS 6 to 9 months without Russian spacecraft. In August 2025, NASA and SpaceX tested a minimum lifeboat scenario. One Crew Dragon could evacuate all 7 astronauts in under 45 minutes instead of waiting for both Soyuz and Dragon. With Baikonur's Site 31 offline indefinitely, SpaceX isn't just an alternative. It's become Roscosmos's lifeline. If this drags past March 2026, we could see something unimaginable a decade ago. A Crew Dragon lifting from Florida carrying Russian cosmonauts to save the Russian ISS segment. The company Russia mocked in the 2000s when Elon Musk tried buying their engines now controls access to space. Between 2011 to 2020, NASA paid $80 to $90 million per Soyuz seat, sending over $4 billion to Roscosmos. Since Crew Dragon, costs dropped to $55 to $60 million per seat, saving NASA at least $1.5 to $2 billion. There's another layer. Russian cosmonaut Oleg Artemyev was recently removed from Crew 12, launching early 2026 on Crew Dragon. The reason? Alleged ITAR violations, international traffic in arms regulations. Artemyev reportedly photographed SpaceX engines and sensitive documents at Hawthorne, potentially copying technology. NASA and Roscosmos replaced him with Andrei Fedyaev. Not official espionage, more an industrial security breach. But it reminds us flying on Dragon may come with extra scrutiny for Russian astronauts. The irony is poetic. The company Russia laughed at 2 decades ago now essentially controls whether Russian cosmonauts reach their own modules. We're watching the end of one era and the beginning of another. For decades, governments controlled space. Russia and America competed, then cooperated, building the ISS together. But that symbol is cracking, literally. The Russian segment is failing, their Launchpad destroyed, and time is running out. Meanwhile, private companies are stepping up. Vast built Haven-1 without government money. SpaceX went from being mocked by Russia to becoming their lifeline. In 5 years, Dragon went from concept to backbone of American spaceflight, taking over functions only Russia controlled. The company Roscosmos, laughed at, now decides whether their cosmonauts can reach their own modules. This isn't just replacing a space station, it's about who controls low Earth orbit's future. Governments moving slowly, or private companies moving fast, taking risks, proving the impossible possible? By 2030, when the ISS burns up, we'll know. Right now, all signs point to companies like Vast and SpaceX. The race is on. For the first time in history, private companies are winning. Can commercial stations really replace the ISS? Or are we moving too fast? Drop your thoughts below. If this was valuable, hit that like button and share it. Subscribe to Space Update 24 hours so you never miss the new space race. Thanks for watching.